Winds howl around me as I try to pull my legs even closer to myself. The freezing gusts nip at every bit of exposed skin and pierce through my hoodie. Beneath me, the wood of the bench groans and creaks as I shuffle around, its gentle protest sending me through the wind's harsh blusters. Snow blankets the paths and grounds as far as the eye can see, with only barren trees dotting the landscape, jutting out of the ground like grey monoliths. I'm cold.
Do you, actually think I'm ever gonna make it back?
Oh, I'd like to think so. The gentle voice is warmingly familiar, the response offering some solace in an otherwise sea of danger that I find myself in. My gaze remains fixed forward, looking miles beyond the rows of trees into the wide, ever-reaching horizon. That was that. What was that? Is that a song? Maybe it was me. Maybe it was me. Could have been me. Could have been me. Maybe it was the wire doing something. But this hasn't had that issue so far. Oh. I know. The clothes on my back feel frozen to my scales. It feels as if someone had dumped a bucket of freezing water onto me, soaking me head to toe. Freezing winds and wet clothes work in an unholy union to make the wasteland feel that much more cold and empty.
I'm tired. I want to sleep.
There's no reply from the void.
Are you supposed to tell me not to give up yet?
Do you want me to?
I'm not sure.
Silence reaches out, prodding in my mind as I try to pull myself tighter.
I believe in you.
Bzz. Through the empty fields, an electric, almost angelic buzz echoes. The winds suddenly halt, their vicious screams and blusters vanishing as if they were never there. Their cold, harsh stabs vanish, leaving me simply existing, curled up, damp, frozen ball. My scales tingle with a feeling of thousands upon thousands of invisible creatures running around. Their multitude of numbers smother me with a gentle pressure, pressing down on me like a warm hug. Now I know what this is. This is a eat you get from the medical devices. There's that sound again. It's louder this time. The rhythmic melody pierces my very being, calling to me, pulling at me. At last, the ice in my veins begins to thaw, the cold flowing out as easily as it came.
What should I do?
The fog on the horizon begins to lift, exposing what's beyond the abyss in its full glory.
Live!
I turn my head towards the voice. There's no one there.
God damn it, Inko, now's not the time to use your invisibility cloak.
So I knew it. Health station.
Eat.
The health station on the wall repeatedly thumps away in its rhythmic operation, each pup dispensing another dosage of its green healing substance, which is in the other one that's red, but yeah, it's, you know, we're using Black Mesa for this. My eyes rapidly flick between the recipient and the station's reservoir, about the bottom of my lips, silently praying to no god in particular that it has enough to save them. I feel that's a very weird statement to say. Why can't you just hope? Why do you have to be religious about it? Gently laid back against the wall is a soaked, unmoving form of Olivia, a needle connected to the health station, stuck to her. You're being this guy really needs to, like, cut down in redundant sentences. Even with the healing, I'm nervous that I may have taken too long and there won't be enough. She might actually die. Shouldn't have turned around. The suit had more than enough charge to take a brunt of the explosion from the barrel. Sadly, are her clothes still intact? Do we have a backup plan for if her clothes get shredded by an explosion? Because that stuff can mess up your outfit. And I feel like she'd probably be extremely distracted, despite the circumstances. I should have turned around. The suit had more than enough charge to take the brunt of the explosion from the barrel. Silently, I crouched down to her eye level, anxious to see any kind of life from the girl. There's no way in hell I'm just letting some poor kid who somehow ended up here to die because of my mistake. Jesus, that's it. I mean, that sentence actually works fine. There's no way in hell I'm just going to let some poor kid that somehow ended up here die because of my mistakes. It's just that I'm being weird about it. Gingerly, I reach out and adjust the blue dress shirt laid over her chest before my eyes look over to where I'd thrown her hoodie and t-shirt. Both had not only been ruined in the blast, but in my desperate attempts to force my way forwards to find some help for it. Oh. I had to strip off the remains so that I could find a good vein and insert the needle. She is female. There's no doubt about that. You're such a judgmental man, Gordon. I know it's the 90s and nobody knows about that shit, but come on. I do, I do like the presumption that she has veins to begin with. I guess you kind of were operating on rapid response. Did you get like workplace safety? Because you know, but that's overloading being what it is. Between several roadblocks, including having to drag it through a small tunnel of water, an uncooperative scientist who I know damn well had basic understanding was refusing to help, and some weird brown monster that shot green lightning. They don't shoot lightning, they shoot acid! Oh, no, wait, you're talking about the other guy. There have been an extremely frustrating amount of delays. He's talking about the Vortigons. None of which has helped us either. I barely had time to process any of them. Taking a shaky breath, I glance up. The reservoir's half empty. My pulse grows even faster. With growing urgency, I lean forward and carefully pull her back from the wall. To my relief, the massive collection of serious burns on her back seems like they're healing rapidly, at least as much as fragment-laden burns can. Isn't laden with just an A, though? Because it is too late on to be laden with. I mutter silent thanks to the bureaucrats that decided to put these healing stations all around the facility. Some of the society is better for workplace injuries to be healed on site than to report them in the first place. I appreciate the skepticism, but Black Mesa always struck me as a facility that is at least somewhat smart. Like, it's aperture science that's flagrant about it. Carefully, I lay her back. All I can do at this point is wait and see if she'll wake up. There's a good chance she'll be sore, when she does. You should probably emphasize this with italics. Letting out a silent sigh, I run my hand through my hair and find the nearby office chair, trying to be mindful of the shirtless security guard laying dead not too far away. Ew! She's gonna be so mad from the tainted moodlet. Poor guy. He gets killed by God knows what and then looted by me. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to actively rob every person I can find. They just have what I need. It's not like they're using it. Settling down, I lean back and let out a soft sigh and pull the glasses off my face. I'm not sure how long I've been going at this for. By this point, I'm sad of it. I know both have a ways to go at this point, but the distance just seems so far. It's like all I'm doing is walking in a straight line and seeing where it ends. After all, that's how I got to this room. My blurry gaze drifts around the room, taking the opportunity to probably take in where we've ended up. It's another security station, no doubt, though one probably in charge of important things, I think. A row of controls, buttons, and knobs are spread all across several interconnected consoles. Several CCTVs hang from the ceiling, offering several views of the facility. Beep-oop. Just, wait, that's more what it does, right? Just I'm starting to lean back into my seat. The health station lets out a negative buzzer, signaling it's empty. Before I can even think of it, I slip on my glasses and rush over to the girl's side. She's still unmoving, but at least breathing. So long as the latter is happening, there's hope. It's just a waiting game at this point. Man, I really feel bad. Oh, is he at the healing station above the elevator? Because that one has an HEV charger too, right? It's not as if I wanted her to get hurt. Sure, she's got a loud mouth and is kind of annoying sometimes. I mean, what teenager isn't? I sure as hell was. Just a scared, lost kid. I rise to my feet, trying to decide what to do. Eventually landing on an orange-laden box of electrical goodness on the upside of the rooms. Oh yeah, it is the freight elevator. An HEV suit charger. That should be an HEV suit charger, because HEV. It is an abbreviation and it is pronounced individual letters, which means that phonetically it starts with a vowel. Glancing down, I check my suit status on my left wrist. Certainly wouldn't hurt to top off. Who knows what's ahead of us? As I quickly hurry over, I take note of the large lever juxtaposed on the wall, separating the two stations. On it reads, Freight Elevator Control. It's a good thing to know. Brain, remember that. Gordon may need to use that later. I reach the HEV charger and quickly take out the charging cord, connecting the port to my chest. Rapidly, the number on my wrist read, I start climbing. It's a good sign to say at least. Finally, feels like things are going my way. But man, I'm tired. For the briefest second, I lie to myself that I can close my eyes while standing, like I get Eddie Tipples of restaurant. Still, wouldn't hurt to try. Leaning back, I fold my arms and close my eyes, lowering my chin onto my chest. With a gentle exhale, I try to slip to whatever bit of rest I can muster as my suit charges up. That takes like a second, man. In a heartbeat, my eyes snap open to a familiar grumble. I shoot up and rapidly rush over to the yoink! Oh, it's the stupid cable. In the instant, I'm yanked backwards, losing my footing and harshly collapsing out of my back with a loud metallic thud. Thankfully, the suit takes the brunt of it. Doesn't help for the fact I'm totally wiped out. I got a deep grumble. I look back and realize my error. The charging cable is still magnetically locked onto my chest and doesn't let go unless it's deactivated at the charger. Oh, goddamn car chargers. They're just like that. Olivia groans, only serve to remind me of my sorry bot to hurry up. How is it an MIT graduate can't remember to unplug his suit? Scrambling to my feet, I rush over to the charger, disconnected, blah blah blah, and then hurry back to her. The larger green tail on the ground slithers and curls while the teen shuffles under the makeshift shirt blanket with closed eyes. I silently but eagerly watch on, debating if I should do something. Actually, as I think I will do something. I carefully grasp the bow for shoulder and give him a gentle shake. The effect is immediate. Her piercing eyes snap up, along with a violent gasp of air, startling me back. Burning yellow and silver orbs rapidly look around the room. The poor thing appears absolutely terrified. For a second, Olivia looks more like a frightened animal than an actual person. I take a careful step back, suddenly very aware of dozens of sharp teeth lining her mouth. Pretty much a repeat of earlier when she took a power nap. Hopefully this time, the same trick will work. Clap, clap. Sudden clapping seems to pause the girl's freakout and slowly bring her back to reality. Her eyes lock onto me, and watching every small movement I make. That's it. No need to freak out. I'm right here, and you're alive. Just stay calm and don't move. I forgot this guy can't talk. He sure is chatty for it, though. Ever so slowly, my efforts seem to be working. Her rapid breathing slows as her arms shift under the cover. I take a knee next to her, giving her time. She needs to get her mind together. With a few blinks, her eyes... Wait, isn't this the canals? Oh, they haven't been there yet, have they? With a few blinks, her eyes slowly start to focus on the world around her. They drift around the room, scanning before finally landing on me. I give a small smile, happy to see that she's finally coming through. I think a silent thanks. I think a silent thanks. Happy to see that despite everything, she's doing okay. So her eyes drift back from me to the blue dress shirt laying on her chest, then back to me, back to the shirt. I give a solid thumbs up, hoping she'd appreciate and realize what's happened. Thwap! I suddenly feel something sweep my feet out from under me. The blink of an eye, I'm on my back, with her glaring the sharpest pair of furious daggers I've ever seen, wrapping her arms around her chest. "You skinny freak!" she roars. Give me the full battery of her horse, yet raise her sharp voice. "Should have known a fucking spear chucker like that would probably do something like this. You're all the same!" While trying to get into Soria's girl's pants. "I've a boyfriend, you maniac!" A world spins on my body with words. Repeatedly, something slams into my side with force strong enough to degrade the suit's charge. Only 1% of it. Olivia, you gotta work up those muscles. Right? She's like, "Oh God, no!" My hands waved desperately in an attempt to dismiss the confusion, but panic waving can only go so far. Mercifully, I managed to scoot back far enough from the arranged teen to escape her physical assault as she continues her rather colorful battery of verbal one-shots, many of which I'm not exactly sure what they mean. Safe to presume they're not good.
Goddamn smooth skin peeling 5-finger discount. Ah!
Just as I get out of her tail's immediate danger zone, a barrage comes to an abrupt halt. She claws at her throat and sputters, sounding like she's trying to clear it or something. Why did she have that? I thought that was mostly because she barely talked, and by the end of the game, that shouldn't be a problem, right? Like her voice is better trained. God, I'm still messed up. I'm still so sleepy. I think all the heat did damage, and it needs to heal. I'm not back at full capacity quite yet. Maybe she's thirsty? My brain goes back to earlier when something similar happened. She asked the guard for his water bottle. It was sort of a biological thing with her species. Ever so carefully, I rise to my feet, keeping my hands clearly where she could see them. Trying to control my expression and show through my body language. So not some Class A pervert trying to cop a feel on an interdimensional Gator girl. Well, she's not interdimensional ABK. Silver and yellow born to me, like a flashlight with the intensity of many nuclear reactors powering this facility. Why would you call it a flashlight then? Gingerly, I rise to my feet, carefully start searching around the room for something that might be used to explain something. Even I say, "Aha! There!" On a singular, massive desk is a notepad and some paper. I look over, getting only a furious scowl. Slowly tiptoeing, I make my way over, pick it up. Reminded so oddest to stop stealing my lunch, I scribbled on the recent notes. Shaking my head, I rip it off and pull out a new one. Actually, I have to look for a pen, but thankfully it's right next to where the pad had been. Also conveniently next to an open can of soda. That's only going to dehydrate her further! Neat. I pick up both of one hand, giving it a figurative chest. There's still plenty in there about the feel of it. It's not water, but it'll have to do. Quickly spin around with the most tender and mindful steps, so I can slowly make my way over to Olivia. Her eyes naturally trace me like a hawk, dino hawk. I put the soda in my hand, then to her, hoping she'll get my meaning. Her eyes narrow to mere slits, yellow almost glowing in the dim light of the room. As I tiptoe closer, I'm thankful not assaulted by a terror with the sharpest-looking claws. Obviously doesn't mean we're back to being buddy-buddy, but there's still plenty I have to explain. With an utmost nervous grace, I place the can onto the ground next to her and take a few steps back. She has for a split second, flicking her gaze at me. Sweep! With desperate gusto, she swipes the can and practically empties it in mere seconds. I only have a chance to blink before I realize it's empty. The metallic crunch, she tosses the can straight at me, the tin bouncing harmlessly off my chest plate. Talk! She hoarsely, but clearly orders. I feel like you would be better off saying the order is hoarse but clear. Because using Lee, like, avoid Lee's, man. You can rewrite it. You can rewrite it. Also, I think that the order is hoarse but clear also helps a lot. For, like, it's better phrasing than this. Also, that doesn't apply if there's no comma. Because this implies that it's a separate statement. I mean, it isn't, so this should be a comma. Can't do that, but still. Oh, wait, the notepad. Da. Pulling out the writing device, I'm out of my arm. I quickly scribble a message. How the fuck did you put it there? It's stuck in the rubber of your suit? After a few seconds, I had to pull it out. There was an explosion. You were caught in the blast, seriously injured, brought you here. Once more, the Saurian narrows her gaze, repeating that line seemingly over and over again. Eventually, she settles back against the wall and looks at me. She hisses, arcing her back outward for a few seconds or shakily sitting down. The explosion on my back is killing me. Why am I not dead? I might be a dinosaur, but explosions hurt. I pointed at the empty health station on the wall next to her. As she looks up to scan it, I get back to writing. Healing station. For emergencies, eject into arm. Enter an arm. Is it really that bad? Magic healing goop? Very. Serious burns and shrapnels all over along your entire back. Possible concussive damage. The sharp pain will hopefully fade soon. You'll be sore. Anne actually slips onto her back as she reads my writing. A worried and confused look. It should be a worried and confused look, drawing on her maw. With another sharp hiss, she pulls it back, obviously having poked at the sensitive part. She stammered, apparently having trouble processing the whole thing. I can't blame her. The fact I walked out of a test chamber unscathed, as I did, was nothing short of a miracle. So I almost died. She trails off, her voice sounding hollow, almost as if she's telling it to herself more than me. For a minute or two, the poor girl's gaze drifts away, not looking at anything in particular. An empathic pang hits me as I watch her draw the meager coverings closer to her. Even though I already know it, seeing Olivia act like this really hits home that she really is just a person, despite her appearance. I mean, it's not like I doubted it before, but this just really sells it.
What happened to my clothes?
They got exploded, Olivia. The healing juice doesn't work on it. Her voice finally manages to break from the silence, eyes not looking my way. I start to scribble down, but decide it's easier to just show. Taking long strides, I walk over to the entrance to the security station. There's a discarded pile of ruined clothes that belongs to the Gator. Bloodied and burnt. I turn back, finding her gaze having drifted to me. I hold out her t-shirt and hoodie, finding massive holes in the back. Her hoodie is caked, shifting its purple color to that of dark red. Her eyes grow. Should it be, like, black at this point? Like, blood loses some of its color over time, right? Her eyes grow wide, soaking in all the details of the carnage. Satisfied, I drop him nearby into a pile. It's not like there's going to be one anytime soon. With a limp nod, her gaze begins to drift off again. It's exactly at this point that I'm faced with a unique dilemma that I'm pretty sure I'm the only person in this galaxy that's experienced it. How do I deal with an emotionally wrecked teenage girl? She just had a near-death experience and is made bloodily aware of it. Whoops. Carefully, I settle down next to her, taking note of her shell-shocked look. How do I even start this? I barely know anything about it, let alone enough to help. Actually, hold on. Pulling out my notepad, I scribbled down a simple question. Do you mind me asking where you're from? I jot out the paper in front of her snout. It dangles for a brief moment, hanging limply while it waits to be read. For a brief second. Her eyes flick over obviously scanning the paper. Jesus Christ, man, just say she reads the note. You don't even have to say that. Like, this implies the communication's already occurred. Like, don't do this. Just say that she takes a minute, and then she starts talking. To my frustration, they slowly drift back, pulling her shirt closer to her body and turning away. A frown creeps into my face as I pull the paper back. Is she not comfortable me asking stuff about her world? I just saved her life. I think it'd be a bit more of a nicety to be kind in return. Resisting the urge to shake my head, I must rethink my strategy. Hypothesis 1 was a failure. Time for something different. This time I take a piece of paper and write down my next approach. We've never had a good chance to introduce ourselves. I need a voice for him, if he's going to do this much. I am Gordon Freeman, or John Freedom. I'm 27 years old. I work here as a research associate and have a degree at MIT in theoretical physics. I'm from Seattle, Washington. I ran out of space for the state name. It's probably good enough. I doubt you know where it is anyway. Maybe the whole age and degree thing is a bit unnecessary. I mean, I sound like I'm setting up a dating profile for some crappy dial-up service. Because it is a crappy dial-up service, man. No, I think it's fine. Gordon would be, if this game takes place in the 90s, wouldn't Gordon be like in his 50s, 60s by now? Ugh. Man, you're old, Gordon. You're old. No, I think it's fine. It makes sure that I have an actual story for her to go off of, I think. We're silently hoping to the past heroes of science. I rip it off and hold out for Olivia Snout again. Once more her eyes drift over, almost if they're actively being forced to. They linger longer this time. No doubt, because the extra word slop I decided to throw on. I appreciate that you're pointing that out, but author, you're not following that mentality yourself. Seconds pass, and past is not with that. It is passed with P-A-S-S-E-D. The passing seconds. They have passed. They are past. No, I don't know anymore now. I've confused myself. With a quiet sigh, I pull the paper back, watching her perform the same motions as before. I know I shouldn't be harsh on her, but she's a serious recluse for someone so vocal about what I do. This time I shake my head, allowing a small show of my frustration. Pulling over one of the office chairs, I settle down and debate what to do next. I could have another go at the note-taking experiment, but at this point, we seriously need to start making up for lost time. Saying Gator or not. The pen taps against my head as I run options through them. I think of pros and cons each.
Yeah, you already know my name.
I look surprised. I look up in surprised silence at the sudden raspy voice. Although not looking at me, Olivia is certainly looking around me. An unsure and uneven look draws across her snout, her eyes briefly flicking on and off for me.
Not even sure why you want to know anything about me, but
She shuffles around in her spot, seeming to carefully think on each word that comes out of her.
I go to a private school called St. Hammond's in Volcalderabay, California.
It's not a private high school! How the fuck does Damien go there if it's private? Like, I know some people like to think that Vocal and all are private, but they're not. Anon couldn't afford it, and neither could Damien. Like, I don't think even Mia's family could. She doesn't really strike. Like, sure, she's got a fancy jacket and all that, but she doesn't exactly exude wealth. And, like, her family gives a shit about her education.
There's nothing really special, but
She harshly pauses, shaking her head and looking up at me.
I'm not special or anything. Just some idiot stuck in this hell.
In between my brain furiously sorting of the new information, I let a small empathic look draw across my face. I know one damn too well about the boat she's on. I should know I'm on it too. My thoughts wander back to the photo of my nephew in my locker, sadly hoping that I can make it out of the facility to see him again. I don't know what you're talking about. That might not be a new edition, because I think you can access the locker originally. You can find some energy cells there, if I recall correctly. I look down at my notepad, spurred on by the communications breakthrough. Over the next few minutes, I write down questions and roll them up to the Gator, getting each an equally fascinating and curious answer. Are there other dinosaurs like you? What is your world like? Are there humans? A few are sent back my way, things that I'd like to do, what's with the HEV suit and everything.
I know a human back home. He's really nice. Wears glasses, just like you. Only he's bald.
I nod, gesturing her to go on. Only she has to shake her head.
I'm never sure I'm gonna see him or anyone else like ever again.
She mutters something else at the end, but I can't make it out. By my guess, it's not good. For a few seconds, a heavy silence falls between us, and the girl looks away once again. And there goes the communication bridge. Well, perfect. It was nice while it lasted. If Kleiner heard half the stuff here, Magnuson would have to physically hold him back from hugging the poor creature. Great Scott! We can hug the Gator! Now, Kleiner, let go of her. She needs space.
Hey.
My eyes flick back up to Olivia. How the fuck can you go up to her? She's short. Her eyes remain firmly fixed on the wall.
That scientist guy we saw earlier, the one by the weird tentacle tongue monsters? You mentioned something about dinosaurs being extinct. What did he mean?
Okay. That's it's gonna be an equally loaded response. Immediately, my brain goes full speed at trying to figure out how to carefully tiptoe around this delicate topic of a minefield. Sadly, a degree in theoretical physics can prepare you for a dinosaur teenager from another world asking you why all of her ancestors are gone. Wait, how has she noticed? How come she hasn't noticed the fact that there's no one else around her around at all? She's really not that observant, is she? Weird, considering she's an artist. She hasn't told me that yet, but I like to imagine that I don't know that already. I look down at my notepad, then at her. Taking a deep breath, I finally decide on what to write. Scribbling down as many words as I can fit on the page, I carefully write out what I can without being a rock-solid asshole, as Barney would say. After a bit of reviewing of my answer, I nod and hold up the notepad. I think you're in another universe. There are no saurians. All dinosaurs went extinct millions of years ago. There's only humans. Shouldn't you explain that your dinosaurs are not like her at all? Like, Olivia, you are not any dinosaur we've ever met or found. Her pools snap wide open as they read the first line. They read every line once, twice, over and over. They just couldn't believe it. I can't blame them. It's pretty big news. She struggles with the words as the mood wildly begins to spiral out of control. Her arms somehow wrap even tighter around her entire body, her tail providing equal wrapping for her lower half. What? For a few seconds, she mutters incoherently, drilling an imaginary hole in the floor in front of her. Once again, I debate on what to do next, opting to simply sit back and let her have her moment. She seems incapable of dealing with her own mental well-being, at least well enough, I think. Oh god, I hope her phone didn't fucking break. I hope it didn't break. I feel like you're kind of ruining your storytelling potential by taking her phone away, because she can't use her phone as anything but a flashlight, which is a nice thing for her to have. Like, at most, it's a flashlight and evidence that she's not fucking crazy, but I feel like at this point, none of those things really meaningfully change the story. It's like, oh, we got a flashlight. Well, good. You could find one in any fucking security station, right? It's underground. My phone! She bursts out, desperately looking around the room and landing on her router. Please, I need it. It's in my front pocket. Can't you crawl over, buddy? I guess your back hurts. Desperately pointing a desperate green finger its way. I get up, walk over, but honoring her request and curious about what she meant. Would she had a phone with her? I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility for a teenage girl her age to have one. I just wonder what it looks like. Maybe it's one of those new Nokias. Why are you assuming it's a phone you're familiar with? Digging around inside the charger remains of the hoodie, I eventually feel something brush up against my gloves. I pull it out and I'm able to add a strange-looking black device. For a split second, I try to evaluate it. It certainly doesn't look like any phone I've ever seen before. Rather, it looks like a portable television or cassette player. Why would you assume that? There's no place to put the fucking cassette, and it doesn't look like a screen, per se. It could just be a glassy surface. Where's the number pad? However, I'm reminded I have a rather teen to return it to, so I turn back and hand it off to her. Note to self, look that phone over later. I could learn something about cameras. With surprising urgency, she flicks a button on the side. My brows raise and give me a curious as I give a curious gaze to her flurried operation. The screen illuminates with a picture of what looks to be a bald, sleeping human, only confirming the fact that they do still exist in her universe. Immediately, I'm stumped with how she would operate the device. As observed, there isn't any keypad, or likewise, how would she... Olivia swipes up on the screen, rapidly flying through the menus with flicks of her fingers. So it's touch-controlled. Why wouldn't anyone want a phone with buttons? What do you got against buttons, lady? We're talking this out, Buster Brown. Here, look! The device is suddenly shoved into my face before I can blink. Tell me there aren't any saurians here! There, on the screen, is a picture of what appears to be an entirely different species of dinosaur. This one with pink scales and fins coming out of the side of his head. He's a hybrid. Like, that doesn't exist at all! It's not even a species that exists! There's a smaller one that looks similar in type, almost as if they're related. Go for a hunch before a TV play... what I guess is a video game? There's billions of us! We're not extinct! I imagine that Gordon is like, what the fuck are those controllers? Why aren't they angular? Why can't I brick someone in the face with them? Why doesn't one have, like, 3 odd prongs? Words of a sharp edge to them. Denial practically spilling from her mouth. She's frothing as if rabid. Frustration ekes onto her snout. Rejection at the reality seemingly fueling her rage. I look between her and the photos for a mute second. Eventually, I take a deep breath and drag my hand down my face. I don't need a notepad for my response. All it takes is a simple, slow shake of my head. Olivia stares at me, the fire in her eyes briefly flickering out at my simple response. There's no anger behind my gesture, no argumentative evidence. There's simply no fighting about it when it's the truth. Wordlessly, her arm falls limply to her side as her once more empty gaze trails off. Where am I? I really wish I could tell you. Attention. Sector D. Personnel. Evacuate area immediately. Both of us look up as the familiar robotic voice in the announcement system serves as a harsh reminder we shouldn't stay here for long. We have to keep moving. Or else! You're fired! Quickly I rise to my feet, hurrying about the room as I gather the utility belt and other small things that fit in its pockets. Wait! My gaze flicks over to Olivia as she glances up. What about... She hesitates in her question. What about my gloves? I can't go out like this. That brings over a good point. Nodding, I look around for a replacement. Obviously, the chance of me finding something that fitted pretty bleak. Considering her size, I can't just give her any random shirt. Just about ready to give up after a few seconds of fruitlessly looking around. Obviously, there's next to nothing that actually fit. Sure, there's the security guard shirt that's covering her right now, but that's much too small. At least, that's until my eye lands on it. It's a massive black leather jacket. What the fuck are you... What? This is what we're going with? Years on the asphalt have beaten it into submission. The grain is deep and cracked. Who the fuck took this with them? Who took this with them? Yeah, man, I work underground, where the air is probably horrible. I'm gonna bring my leather jacket. Oh, material for use tip, almost like armor, sergeant at arms. 1%er badge. Oh, dear God. A 3-piece patch. Jesus Christ, man. It's Otis. Not Otis? Jesus Christ, man. Who the fuck takes this with them? To like the... It stinks! My eyes will at least stare at the jacket for longer than I need to. There's by no way in hell I'd give it to someone like Olivia. Then again, it's all there is that would fit. What kind of sick convenience is this? Well, it's got a snarling skull. That's all she needs. As I debate on actually giving it to her, my eyes land on a neatly folded white t-shirt on top of the locker. Pulling it out, it leads to an XL. Because everyone here isn't an XL! Really don't want to give her that awful jacket! Anyway, he just gives her the clothes. Fuck, it's cold in here. Wait, she's cold-blooded, isn't she? That must mean that the 65 degrees the facility must be freezing to her. Oh, God. 65 degrees? Is your facility retiring or something? Oh, my God. All right. I think I'm going to make a break here. I've been having some issues of late, and I would like not to lose my files. Bye-bye.